The just ended investment conference has secured about 1.14 trillion rand in pledges since 2019, and so far 316 billion rand of the 774 billion rand pledged in the previous annual conference has already been received. Let's take a look at what these big numbers mean for millions of unemployed people in the country. We're joined by the Assembly of the Unemployed. That's Sia Mama. Sia, good afternoon to you, and thank you for availing yourself. Such conferences, of what significance are they to you?
So thank you very much, Juju, and yeah, good afternoon to you. So such conferences are, I don't know, they're very important, but it depends. The importance depends on where do you come from. And I think before I say anything, I must say we need to disabuse ourselves from the fact that the only solution to the economic problems that we have is foreign direct investment. And I think we should make that clear. Because at the present moment, and when this started, I think it was in 2018, we have seen dire conditions after that. The situation has not changed. Because the pattern of investment in South Africa has shifted. And the kind of investment that we need is a different investment that will enact reindustrialization, and reindustrialization that will create jobs, right? And the 1.14 trillion that has been secured is, and I think it says a lot, but it won't make the impact unless it's directed into creating industries in the form of reindustrialization. And we must accept that. And I think we must not underplay the importance of the state-owned companies. And I think that's another problematic thing, as we also face the unbundling of Eskom. And I think the president in his speech also mentioned this, that the state-owned enterprises have been in many ways causing problems for the fiscus. And I think they are, in South Africa, charity begins at home.
Let's expand on that, Sia, if you'd allow me, please, to join you. You speak of disabusing ourselves from foreign direct investment, and you speak of different investments. What do they look like to you, and where should they come from?
So where do they come from? How should they look like? And I think this is a very important question in a way that post-1994, when the pattern of investment was shifting, we saw many companies taking their investment away into other places. And people were mostly, because the pattern of the investment was shifting, it was financialized, it was liberalized, and it focused more on the financial sector, it focused more on the mining sector, the agricultural sector, which are highly extractive, and that's the basis of South African economy today. And what we're talking about is investment that will create more industries for people to get jobs, to get factories that will employ people. So that's a form, and a form of reindustrialization and investment that will create reindustrialization. How this would happen, and I say we must disabuse ourselves from thinking that foreign direct investment is the answer. One, because now we face the problem of the illicit financial flows, which are causing our economy about 300 billion. Through these companies that are investing here, we're currently having a problem with Milko at Clover, which is also an Israeli company. Contradictory enough, we don't know how it exists. But as well, we have the GEPF, which holds under 2 trillion rands in its reserves. Workers continue to contribute there 6% of their salaries, as well as employers. So why can you not take the GEPF, instead of putting it in the financial sector and investing in companies such as MTN, use those funds in the GEPF to create reindustrialization. And you can start by doing that yourself before you can go outside and ask for investment. Government has the capacity for this. Stop austerity, because as you stop austerity, you begin to build capacities of entities like SARS, so that they can track down problems such as the illicit financial flows, because the money that are being taken away through illicit financial flows are money that could be used as well for social wage to create infrastructure, because currently we face a problem of infrastructure. People in Nelson Mandela Bay are told to buy water privately, or to use jig before they drink their water, or to boil their water, because their water has deteriorated because of an infrastructural problem, which has been promised that it will be fixed. But the problem is the tender system. So we need to also think about, in bringing this investment, we also need to think about building the capacity of the state to run and do its business on its own, so that we take away the money that is being lost into contractors who are inflating prices. So this is the kind of issue that we're talking about. But we need the investment for infrastructure, to build infrastructure, so that people can be employed in creating the infrastructure that we need for water.
A disturbing allegation there in terms of that water situation that you touch on, that people are being asked to use jig to clean the water. But in your opening remark or opening statement, when we talked about the importance of such conferences, you mentioned that they are important. It just depends on where you come from. What does that mean?
So it depends on what lenses are you looking at. So will the investment create the structure of the economy, we shift the structure of the economy? Because what we face right now is a problem of huge unemployment. So will the investment speak to the issue of unemployment? How will it speak to the issue of unemployment? And I think from what we've seen and how the pattern of investment we've been seeing in South Africa, it has not been able to create jobs. And then it's if you're looking at and this is a problem, because now and I'll say it also depends, because for companies now, when you come to South Africa, corporate tax is so low. It sits at about 11%, while contradictory enough, during the 1980s, when apartheid was still in its rise, it was sitting at about 48%. So so companies are able to move away freely and move away huge profits for South Africa, because there's a belief, we have believed that we need them here, while they're extracting huge profits. So it depends. So for the working class, this does not mean anything, but it means that companies will continue to extract away the resources of South Africa. But and we say investment can change lives, but the investment that can change lives can be also state-led, through using the resources that the state has to create reindustrialization. And tax the rich, very important, tax the rich, because there's about 165 billion that could be earned if you tax the rich. If you increase corporate tax, take it back to 48%, so that you are able to make what you could make from the money that could be earned from corporate tax and the taxing of the rich for social wage.
Mama, Assembly of the Unemployed. Thank you very much for availing yourself this afternoon.